You know, a few weeks ago, my wife and I celebrated our 31st wedding anniversary. And I'll be the first to admit, I've never been a great gift giver, though I am trying to get better at that. This year for Valentine's Day, I decided to go to the scroll saw and make this fretwork scroll saw box. It's got all kinds of different hearts designed. This is really a scrap wood project. This is some maple that I had left over from, I think, a cross or something I made, and then just a little piece of walnut for the handle. And just to cover myself, in case my wife does not like my scroll saw work, I have filled it with her favorite chocolates, Ghirardelli dark chocolate sea salt caramel. So not sure if she'll share any with me, but there they are. So I hope that you will enjoy this video, and maybe it will help you to get out there and make some sawdust. So here I'm cutting the lid and the bottom and the lid lip. Okay, now for the fun part of this small little project. We're going to start cutting out the hearts and the details. By far the longest and most difficult part of this project is cutting the sides. It ended up taking me just over 6 hours to cut this piece. All right, now that we got these, all the pieces cut out, we just need to kind of clean it up a little bit, get the fuzzies off of it. I usually come over here to the drum sander where I got a flapper sander kind of disc thing in there. We still may have to do some sanding by hand on these, but hopefully this flapper sander will get the best, most of it. So let's get going on it. Obviously, the best part of any project is the sanding. Sanding this project, I used the flapper sander on the drill press. I did some hand sanding with some of my little files, and then I used the rigid sander to square it up and even things out. All right, now we get to the fun part of trying to assemble this thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue the sides and the ends together. And then after they are glued up, I got to do a little bit of sanding to even it out, the top and the sides. But that'll be easier, I think, once it's all together. And then we can work on the bottom and the lid. So I'm going to be using this Tight Bond Quick and Thick. It dries really quick, and it also dries pretty clear, and I think for this small thing that would be ideal and good. So clamping this little box together, the best clamps I think to use are my Harbor Freight little mini clamps. The problem is I only have 2. I will be picking up some more later, but for this glue up I'll dig through and find my smallest F-style clamps as well. Okay, now that this box has been gluing up overnight, we're going to see how bad the glue up was. I don't think that I got things lined up as well as I thought I did. But I think we can fix that with some sand. It's just going to mean a little bit more work on the sanding side. So. So I actually want to begin with the lid. The lid consists of two parts. There's the top part that will eventually be fit flush, and it fits pretty good right now. But then there's an inner lip that keeps it from sliding around, and it's got to fit inside of this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try to set this on top of it and maybe trace it, and then we can sand it down so that it will fit just inside. So now that we got the lid lip sanded down so that it will fit just inside the box, we're going to glue it to the top of the lid and set that aside, and then we can move on to work on the bottom. We're going to let these two things glue dry, and then we can do a little bit of adjusting on the top part of the lid, be sure that it's flush, and then all we got left is glue in the top part handle and do the finish. All right, we got this, everything glued up, everything is ready to go, and I completely forgot to record the last part, which was gluing the handle in, but it's all ready. So I think now we're ready to apply some finish. I'm going to do some of the Minwax spray on polyacrylic. I particularly like that when there's a lot of kind of fretwork and small things. It's just easier to get it in there than other ways, and I need this to be ready in another day or so to give to my wife. So anyway, so what I want to do is go from my workbench to the finishing table, which is really quite simple, as you may already know. And we'll get some newspaper to lay down. So last night I did get the last of the spray finish on here, and everything goes together nicely. I think it looks pretty good, and nice little project for Valentine's Day. I'm going to fill it with some chocolates for my wife, and anyway, it looks good from a trotting horse, as my old boss used to say. I hope you've enjoyed this. Maybe it will help you get out there and start making some sawdust, and I look forward to seeing you next time.